It is that time once again where I play my TBR game in order to help me figure out what I'm going to read in the next month. I play a game called TBR Bluff almost every single month, and this is a dice-based board game where I roll 5 die and then I try to find the corresponding prompt. Once I find the prompt on the board, I cover it up, I get 5 in a row, and I get to clear the board. We are getting to start with a brand new clear board for the month of August, and I am so excited because that means theoretically it should be much easier for me to find all of the prompts. I don't really have any readathons or anything that I'm going to be doing the month of August, which does feel a little bit weird, but I do have a couple of book club books that I'm going to be participating in, and if I don't get them on the TBR, I will absolutely share with you guys what those are. I did not quite finish my TBR in the month of July. I definitely was still trying to survive the summer slump. I do tend to read less in the summer. I get a little bit burnt out, and so I'm trying to kind of get over that. I think I'm finally getting my mojo back, but it's been a slow ride. So I did not finish my TBR, so we will be adding a punishment roll, and I will be doing 6 rolls instead of 5. So without further ado, let's jump into the first roll. Okay, with a nice clean board at TBR Bluff, roll number 1. So we have 2 4s, a 6, a 5, and a 3. With 2 4s, we could do skip. We've got pretty much the entire board. I would love book club or read along or romantasy because I do want to get the Not So Indie archive pick on here. So let's keep the 2 4s, and then do we keep a 3 or a 6 out? Let's keep a 6 out and see if we can get book club or read along. Oh, we did. We got another 6. Our first roll was perfect, and that got us a book club or read-along book, and that could not have been better because I'm going to be putting on Fallen in the Kiss of Dusk by Carissa Broadbent. This is the Not So Indie archive pick for the month of August, which is the book club that Cassidy and I host over on our Patreon for our top 2 tiers, I believe. But basically, we read a book together every single month, and this one just felt natural because we had read pretty much all of these books together so far. I did not love book 3 / the first book in this duology, but I am excited to read this one with everyone, and I'm hoping that I will enjoy it a lot more. I love Carissa's writing, and so I'm very excited to be back in this world. It's about vampires, and the first book in this duology had an underworld setting. There's trials, and it's just usually a lot of fun. Okay, roll number 2. That did not give me anything. Actually, it did. It gave me 2 4s again. What is it with the 4s today? And then we also have a 3, a 2, and a 5. Well, I always love getting romantasy, but I could be down for something else. I don't know. I guess we'll keep the 3 just to give me something and reroll these 2. 2 4s. So that gets me a hyped book. I think we're just going to go with that. Next up, we had a hyped book, and for this one, I'm going to cheat just ever so slightly, and I'm going to put on a reread because I have really been meaning to reread this book, and I finally got some beautiful special editions from Arcane of the Bridge Kingdom, and I think it's time that I finally reread this book. The Bridge Kingdom is everywhere. I feel like it has gotten so popular this year. It was indie published, and now it is getting traditionally published again by Bloom. They're doing special editions, so I feel like it's been getting a lot of love. The Bridge Kingdom is a romantic with a bodyguard type setting, I believe. I just really don't remember a lot about this book at all. When I first read it, it's probably been, honestly, this book originally came out in 2018, and I probably read it around that time, so 6 or 7 years ago. And I was reading a lot more of contemporary romance at the time, had not really delved into the romantasy world yet, and I liked it, but I didn't like it enough that I was like super itching to continue. And now I really want to read the rest of the books in the series. These are like sets of duologies as well, which I've known that I've come to love. So I'm very excited to dip my toes back into this world and get to continue on with the series. Roll number 3. Two 5s, a 3, a 1, and a 2. So 2 5s is not on the board. We didn't add that one back in, but we are going to keep the 2 5s, and then we could do weapon on the cover. I don't really want a horror. What is 2 5s and 2 2s? Pulpic? Pulpic could be fun. Okay, I'm going to keep out this 2 and reroll these 2. We're just kind of going all crazy for this one. That got me 3 5s. Wish me luck. Oh no, we're already using free space. It's fine. Everything is fine. Then we got a color generator, and I cannot believe that on the first clean board, I had to go with my free space. That is just honestly very, very rude. So what we're gonna do is pull up a color generator and see what color I get, and then we'll pick a book based off of that. I have no I don't know what I'm gonna pick for this, so let's just see. This is actually the first thing, so this is not the one I've generated yet. Okay, generate. Quartz gray? That feels kind of boring. So I need a gray book? Surely I can do a gray book. Oh, I have the perfect gray book, but I'm not brave enough for that, I don't think. Am I brave enough for that? I don't think I'm brave enough for that. I may get to be brave enough for that because I'm not sure that I can think of anything better. Do we think that this has got enough gray, or is it too purple? I am going to regret this. I'm going to regret this so very much, but the TBR has spoken. Okay. Fairy Tale. It is definitely gray. The whole cover is gray. I'm scared to death of this book, but I really need to read it. I put it on so many TBRs. I've been meaning to read this for so long, but I'm just absolutely terrified of this. It's supposed to be historical and slow and gothic, all things that are not usually my vibe. However, I have read a couple of gothic romantasy this year and enjoyed them, like Anathema and The Poisoner. I think this is not quite the same as those, but it's still like a dark romantasy with gothic vibes. So I'm hoping that maybe that means that I will enjoy this, but I'm absolutely terrified of it. Do I know a whole lot about this? Absolutely not. It says, what could possibly go wrong in a town that rhymes with Fairytale? We're set in August 55 for one of our timelines, and she is an orphaned English teacher from Boston, and she must travel to Fairytale to attend his funeral, but there's the promise of a sizable inheritance, and so she decides to journey to the small coastal town that holds the secrets of her birth. But from the moment she steps into Fairytale, she knows that things are going to be amiss. Odd residents, odd rumors, odd deaths, everything about Fairytale is odd. It sounds good. Like, it sounds really interesting, but I've heard this go from DNFs to 6 stars to everything in between, so I really don't know what to expect. Roll number 4. Two threes, 2 4s, and a 5. So 2 3s and 2 4s is still on the board, and that is romantasy, so we're just going to take it easy on ourselves this month and go with that. We got a romantasy, which is just easy. Like, I could pretty much pick anything on my TBR for this. I think I am going to go with the sequel to Iron and Embers, which is Thorns and Fire, which is the sequel to Iron and Embers by Helen Scher. This is the spin-off series to Blood and Steel, following the sister of the main character from Blood and Steel, and we're following her romance. She is an alchemist and become the poisoner, and there's a lot of like different things that you learn from the Blood and Steel series, so I personally think that it's best to read that one first, but I've heard of people that don't read that series that end up loving this one. I gave it a 3-star. I think I expected a little bit more from their romance and from like the tension than we actually got. We definitely built that up in Blood and Steel, but I wanted more of it. It does have bodyguard vibes because Torj is a war sword of Thesmar, and he wants to go off on like this mission and get this like privileged placement, but before he can do that, he has to be her protector and go with her to this school instead. I liked the school setting vibes. I liked the alchemy vibes. I liked the trial vibes. I liked the tension when we got it. I just wanted more of it and more stakes. So I'm hoping that book 2 is going to give me that. My favorite of the Blood and Steel series was the 3rd book. I feel like that kind of like ramped up all of the stakes. So I'm hoping that this one will continue to do that as well. It comes out in mid-August, I believe, so it should be perfect. Roll number 5. 4s, more 4s, 2 4s, 2 6s, and a 5. So 2 4s and 2 6s we have already used, which is sad. I think I'm sick of the 4s, so I think I'm going to leave out the 6s, and we're just going to do our best with another roll. 2 6s and 2 1s. What are you? You are a backlist. I think I can make a backlist book work. Then for what would have been our last prompt, we got a backlist, but because I did not finish my TBR, we ended up doing 6 rolls. For backlist, I'm going to go with Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I've heard a lot of good things about this. It is a dark romance where each book is kind of like a retelling of a popular fairy tale. I'm not usually the biggest Peter Pan retelling person. However, I've heard that the series is definitely worth it. I'm a little bit concerned because we have a guy named Peter. Like, it feels very Peter and Wendy are the main characters character's name, so it feels very Peter Pan, and so I'm hoping that it's not like a direct pull from that, but I've read some like this in the past that I've really enjoyed. I think people's favorite is Scarred, I want to say, which is the Lion King retelling one. Anyway, I'm excited to try it, see what I think, and I'm hoping that I end up loving this because I want to be on the in crowd, honestly. And then roll number 6, because I did not finish my TBR, is, look at how close, look at how good I'm doing right now. More 4s and 2 1s and a 3. So we're definitely going to keep out the 2 1s, but do I go with fantasy and literally have 1 left until we can clear the board? I would be crazy not to do that, wouldn't I? I think I would. And the very last prompt, we got a fantasy. And for this one, I do tend to try to lean a little bit away from romantasy because I do have a romantasy square on the board, so I want it to be different enough. And I think that that is a great excuse to put on the Dark Mirror. I did get to read The Mask Falling in the month of July. I read it with Cassidy, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I'm very excited to continue in this series and finally pick up Dark Mirror. We waited so long for this installment that I think it was just easier for me to continue waiting because I know the next book is going to take so long to come out, but I'm also just really, really hopeful that we get it sooner rather than later and I can continue to dive into this world. It's about clairvoyance, it's dystopian, there's a touch of romance, there's like these mafia underground vibes, it does politics really, really well, and I cannot wait to see what kind of trouble Paige manages to get herself into in the Dark Mirror. So there you go. That's everything that I hope to read in the month of August. I did want to mention that my book club pick for my Patreon is the Warrior Princess Assassin, which is like a poly romantasy. It's the Fairy Loot romantasy pick, so I definitely wanted to get it on the TBR. I have high hopes for it. I'm hoping it's really, really good. It's the author's first like adult debut. I've read something from her before that was young adult and I enjoyed it, so keep your fingers crossed for us that we all have a great time with it. But I think that that's everything for the TBR for now. Let me know down in the comments below what you are thinking of reading in the month of August. Are you reading any of these? Have you read any of these books, and what did you think? If you want to see more TBR bluff videos, I will leave them up here for you guys. If you just want to let me know that you were here and hanging out, leave me a rose emoji. As always, thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.